Today I want to continue in our mini message talking about the basically trading of the birthright of Esau for a bowl of soup. Seems like a bad deal to me. So if you didn't listen to yesterday's, this is again another one of those occasions where it'd be really good to go back and listen to yesterday so you get kind of this full context here. So I want to pick up with this idea and what Jacob was doing here. Jacob saw an opening, okay? And Jacob kind of he's a bit of a schemer. I've read some commentaries that describe him as a rascal. I think that's a pretty funny description. But Jacob, he could scheme with the best of them. And here he sees an opening when his honestly not too bright brother comes to him wanting this stew, saying he's going to starve to death. And Jacob throws this out there. Sure, you can have some stew, but a bowl of soup for you, but I get your birthright. I'm not even sure Jacob thought that Esau would take this seriously. But Esau takes the bait. He says yes. So he obviously doesn't care about the birthright. He doesn't understand the importance of it or simply rejects it. And here's Jacob going, what, you're telling me I can get more stuff? You're telling me I can get a bigger portion of inheritance and I'll be the leader of the family and all I got to do is get you a bowl of soup. Sold, son. So they're both here also playing into, I think, a little bit of their nature in that we see Jacob as that kind of schemer, the rascal, the deceiver kind of coming through here. And people have really blasted Jacob over this particular incident over the years. When you read commentaries and listen to sermons and things on this subject over the years, I have a hard time being tough on Jacob about this, to be honest. If Esau wanted to sell his birthright for a bowl of soup, he obviously didn't care anything about it. So why not take it? I mean, he didn't make him. He didn't force him. He didn't threaten him at the point of a sword to get it. He said, sure, I'll give you some, give me the birthright. And Esau went along with it. The Bible even tells us very clearly that in verse 34 it says he showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn. So he didn't care about it. He showed contempt for it. He's like, what do I care about this? So he handed it off. Now, this is an interesting point of view here in that God had already said before they were born that the older would serve the younger, and they were seeing this come to fruition. Now, was this prophecy coming true? Was this Jacob pushing this in his own direction to get what he wanted instead of trusting God to give it to him in his time? I'm not real sure, but it's very apparent that Esau was not the right choice. We'll even see later on Esau will cause his family a whole lot of heartache with some of the choices that he's going to make. So he obviously was not the right person. And so God chose Jacob before Esau ever made any of these decisions. So I'm not saying that Esau was doomed to this, but I think God knew who Esau was going to be. He understood through his foreknowledge of these two men and who they would become. And so he chose Jacob. And here we see Jacob beginning that process of getting that birthright. And at another point, he will receive the blessing from his father, which is a much shadier situation. It's much more of an issue for me there than this here. Because Esau obviously was not the man to carry on this covenant. And we see that clearly from his contempt for his birthright, which would also be the covenant. He didn't care about it. Jacob did. And so Jacob got it, just as God had foretold, that the older would serve the younger. God's word comes true every single time. Be blessed.